I've been talking about this video for years and years. It was the day I met Gene Hackman, and I was a very little kid, probably 5 years old. I remember when the movie Mississippi Burning was filmed in, at least all the downtown scenes were filmed in my second hometown of Lafayette, Alabama. Now, I grew up in Opelika, but my parents were divorced, and my dad lived right outside of Lafayette in a small community called Pennon. That's Penton, pronounced Pennon. And then Lafayette, which is Lafayette, spelled like Lafayette.
The French general.
Yes, is pronounced Lafayette. The downtown has changed since then, but it used to be a square with the courthouse in the middle and the buildings all around it. Now they kind of took the square away. They added a weird addition, which I wish they didn't do because I thought the square was really nice and really cool, but I'm not a city planner. Either way, this movie was filmed down there, and I remember it as a kid. I remember going down there. My dad had a VHS camcorder, and we went down there, and they had all these old cars from like the 50s and 60s down there. People were bringing them in from all around. My stepmom had a Buick. That was a real old Buick that I guess they were trying to get them to use, but they didn't use it. They had old police cars. And I remember being down there, my dad filming a guy and being like, that's Gene Hackman's stunt double.
There's Gene Hackman's double. Man, y'all really shook hands. This is one playing his part.
He walked by, and there was Willem Dafoe was in the movie. I think we have a little shot of him on camera. Frances McDormand was in the movie, and it was just a big deal. You know, I mean, Hollywood come to small town Lafayette. I remember my dad filming a lady, and I think this lady was like, I'm trying to get a picture of Gene Hackman, you know, and there was like some video of my aunts, Aunt Kat and Aunt Becky, and they were talking about wanting to see Gene Hackman. Everybody wanted to see Gene Hackman.
You want to get me?
I'd really rather get me and Gene Hackman.
And this would have been, Gene Hackman had already done at least one Superman movie where he was, you know, Lex Luthor. And in that movie, they made him kind of a rich playboy. I never thought of Gene Hackman that way.
I've spared no expense to make you feel right at home.
But you're a big Gene Hackman fan, too.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's an amazing actor.
And I just wanted to read off just a short list of movies that I really like Gene Hackman in. Now, The French Connection was really good. We watched that movie years ago. That's his movie he won an Oscar for. And I think it came out in the 70s. But that one was really good. Superman, obviously, is great. I just watched all of those movies when I got sick a while back. But Hoosiers, me and you just watched. Really great movie. I think it's my friend Brian Bates' favorite movie.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Hoosiers is really good. Mm-hmm. Then, you know, the great thing about Gene Hackman, to me, is that he has all these really great historical, you know, old movies. I mean, not historical movies, but old movies when you think about Hoosiers, Superman, French Connection. But then in the ultra hipster Wes Anderson film, Royal Tenenbaums.
It was against the law. What your mama saw. It was against the law.
He's the main guy. That's just so exciting. And then for him to be able to do all those roles and then do in Mississippi Burning, he's a real kind of hard-ass FBI guy. And he's really come in to Mississippi to clean up this racism that happens in this city. And he's a real hard-ass in it.
Wake up! Oh! And you get this straight, shit kicker. Don't you go mistaking me for some whole other body.
But then you watch him in the movie Get Shorty with John Travolta, and he's playing a really weak, failed movie producer. And he gets beat up real bad in the movie. But then, turn it around, he's in the movie Unforgiven with Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood, where he's the cop in the city. And he, again, plays a real hard ass where he beats this guy up real bad.
This is the kind of trash I can get out.
He's running this town with an iron fist. And then I just watched him recently in a movie with Will Smith called Enemy of the State, which was incredible. And Gene Hackman is just ultimate actor. So on this day, me and my dad and my 2 stepbrothers, we go into this building where Gene Hackman is probably filming a scene. When you look in there on the video, it kind of looks like, and maybe it's not, but it kind of looks like he's in a barbershop. Now, if you're familiar with the barbershop scene of Mississippi Burning, he has walked in on a guy getting his face shaved with a straight razor, and he kind of takes over for the barber.
This is tricky.
And starts really working the guy over, cutting the guy a little bit with the straight razor while he's trying to ask him some questions. It's a very intense scene. So I like to think that this scene's going on, and my dad opens the door and goes, "Mr. Hackman." Now, kudos to my dad.
Mr. Hackman, could I get you with my boys?
Yeah.
Y'all come in.
Oh, I'll come out of there.
Okay.
Come out there.
Thanks, sir.
How you guys?
That's Mr. Gene Hackman, y'all. Go over there, Dusty. Get with you.
Are you ball players?
I'm not. I'm
Thanks, sir.
For just the balls to do this. He goes, "Mr. Hackman, can I get you with my boys?" And then he goes, "Yeah." And then my dad proceeds to go inside, and he goes, "No, I'll come out there." And my dad, somebody commented on this video and said that, it's very unselfish of your dad to just want to get you and your brothers on video and not himself. And I thought about that, but I also thought, who was going to hold the camera? But as my dad had to hold the camera. But, it's me and my stepbrother standing there, and he goes, Gene Hackman comes out, my dad kind of goes,
Mr. Hackman, could I get you with my boys?
Yeah.
Y'all come in.
Oh, I'll come out of there.
Gene Hackman, my brother-in-law always made fun of that. Like, he says Gene Hackman, like Gene Hackman's supposed to do a little dance for us. But I guess during that time, these video cameras were not unheard of, but they weren't everywhere. So probably most people were just snapping a pic with Gene Hackman. But this is a video camera, and my dad goes, "Gene Hackman," and I guess he just leaves it up to Gene to take the floor here. And so he goes, "You boys ball play?" He kind of rubs his brow like, "Oh, jeez."
Go over there, Dusty. Get with you.
He goes, "You boys ball players?" And both my stepbrothers go, "Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir." And we all shake his hand. And then I go, "I'm not." You hear real high-pitched.
not.
And then he kind of gives me an eyebrow raise like, "Ugh." And then you can hear that I'm about to say some more things to him, because that's what I do, is over-explain. I was probably about to get into, well, I wanted to play a little t-ball, but I wasn't very good at it. And then he goes, "All right." And then he walks off.
Got to get back to that razor scene.
Yeah, got to get back to that. But I always just thought that was such a fun video, and I was so happy. But, Gene Hackman's just a little too old to be active on social media. And frankly, no one cares about that video as much as I do.
Yeah, I care.
And it's upsetting to me.
It's excellent that you met Gene Hackman.
I know.
Gene Hackman is a great actor, but I'm thinking about why he's a great actor. And this is why. Because he has a self-possessed charm that is understated, but absolutely intoxicating on screen. Someone like George Clooney or Brad Pitt, they're very aware of their charm, right? And they also are good looking. So they're just wielding out here. But Gene Hackman, not a classically handsome man, but when on screen, he's so charming. He's very contained and understated. But that's what we like.
Yeah, I agree. And he has a really great voice, too. So the way he talks, it's really nice to hear him talk.
My God, I haven't been in here for years. Hey!
There are so many great movies. I could just go through Gene Hackman movies and talk. But he was in some Tom Cruise movie we watched a while back, where he's a lawyer in Memphis.
Oh, The Firm?
The Firm.
Lunch? But it's not even...
Not even noon, I know. It'll be a working lunch. Come on up to my office while I drop this off.
Yeah, you remember that?
Oh, I loved that movie.
Yeah, that was so great. I mean, anytime Gene Hackman's in something, I'm into it.
Yes, absolutely. Just a stalwart excellence.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey.
And so,
It's pretty cool that you met Gene Hackman.
thank you.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you. It is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of impressed by you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now that's the support I need.
Yeah.